Good morning, everyone. It's Trader Rob. Today is Monday, August 24th. Brand new trading week. Brand new opportunities. Let's see what we can extract here from the markets. Hopefully everybody had a fantastic weekend. I definitely had a busy one. So let's jump into the charts. All right, let's start off on the NQ. Let me pull up my annotating tool here. There she is. All right, we got a weekly long setup here. Sitting on the NQ at the 29,085 to the 29,005. All right, this is we've got this as a weekly level. A lot of buyers sitting down here. So very simple setup here for this morning. Let's see. All right, this one's going to be a little bit different, so I'm going to have to explain it here for you guys. Gave you guys this explanation in the weekly report that I published yesterday. If you guys watched it and hit the like button on there, I do appreciate it. Honestly, I'm open for any type of feedback, some things that you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. It would be very appreciative. All right, so what are we going to be looking for here? Pretty simple concept. For this weekly long setup, where you're going to be on a 5-minute time frame, that's how you're going to start off. What you're going to do is you're going to wait for your first 5-minute candle to pierce into this band, okay, from the 29,085 to the 29,005. In fact, I think I can adjust that slightly. Let's just make sure. I think it's the 82s, if I'm not mistaken. Let's get to the NQ here. Yeah, it's the 82s. Let me just adjust that really quickly. There we go. All right. So once price action dips into this band on the 5-minute, what you're going to want to do is really important is you're going to want to wait for a 5-minute candle closure above this band. Okay. So ideally what we'd like to look for, it doesn't have to be a red candle. It doesn't have to be a green candle. The only thing we need is part of that wick or part of that body or part of that candle to dip into this 29,082 band. Can't go below the 29,005 down here. Once you have this confirmation, you've got that 5-minute candle closure above, then I want you to drop down to the 1-minute time frame. Okay. After that, it's pretty simple. You're going to wait for your 1-minute candle closure to close above this 5-minute high right there. Once you get that confirmation, we're going to be going long. Okay, stop loss at the bottom of your 5-minute candle low. 1 to 1.5 risk to reward. You want to be, if you're on prop, funded account, you want to go 1 to 1, perfectly fine as well. 1 to 1 on these trades will do just fine as well. So that's the first setup that we have here on the NQ. Again, gave you guys this one in the weekly report that was put out yesterday on YouTube. Now let's take a look at some other setups that we might have here. All right, some key levels. Prior day low is sitting at the 29,220. Okay, as you guys can see, we've been pretty much gravitating around this prior day low a lot here today. So that's an important key, little key clue here on the NQ. This could definitely be a line, almost like a point of control, where you definitely want to see if you're going to be rejecting that band coming from underneath it, or if you're going to be getting support from it if you're coming from above. Prior day open is sitting at the 29,327. Okay, you've got what I call now a volume sweep, 29,376. Very simple concept to understand. A lot of volume is sitting right here, okay? You've got another key level sitting right above it. You've got the current open, which is at the 29,392, okay? The same type of setup that I explained down here is going to apply right here, just in vice versa. So you're gonna jump onto a 5 minute chart. Okay, so that's where you want to start, is on the 5 minute. Let this candle not a good candle there. Not a good candle. Let's see if I can do a little better there. That's better. Again, on the 5 minute, I want to see a sweep of not only the 29,376, but also the 29,392. 2 layers of resistance up there on the NQ. Wait for the 5 minutes to close underneath them both. Then you're going to just jump onto the 1 minute. Once you get a candle closure below this 5 minute candle's low right here, this is what your 1 minute would look like. And you want to take a short. Okay? Same thing, stop loss on the top of this candle. 1-to-1 risk to reward if you're on prop or funded. 1 to 1.5 if you want to be a little bit more aggressive. Very easy setup here on the NQ. And we got one more setup just like this, a little bit sitting above, which this is going to be the absolute best setup here this morning, okay? I can't stress this one enough. Mark this on your charts right now, the 29,539. 29,539. I'm gonna write it on big letters here. And I'll even put the 29 just in case you don't know where we're at on the NQ. Take a screenshot of it. This is going to be your best shorting opportunity here on the NQ this morning, if we can get price action to come up here. That's the key. Exact same setup as we were just explaining. Okay, you're going to jump to the 5 minutes time frame. Wait for your candle closure with the body closing below that 29,539. After that, you're going to jump down to a 1 minute chart. Once you have a 1 minute chart closing below, giving you confirmation that the shorts are entering in here, we've trapped buyers. This is where you want to take a short, stop loss right here, risk to reward. Again, at a minimum is going to be 1-to-1 if you're on a funded or on a eval. Actually, I would say funded. If you're on an eval, you probably want to be going for 1 to 1.5 at a minimum. Great setup here on the NQ. Now, once this has come and gone, okay, we've got a nice little pocket right here of unbalanced volume from sellers. Okay? This is all seller controlled right now. There's a lot of volume sitting right here. My only concern with this band here at the 29,571 to the 29,582 is very simple. We can get a tap and go. Okay, very, very high probability of that. Second option here would be a sweep and go. Okay, a sweep of this top of this band. So are we going to have a limit order here set? No, because now we've got a few different options. If this band was sitting down here, sitting right here, then yes, I would have a limit order, stop loss, take profit 1 to 2. Easy trade. But we don't have that. So in this scenario, again, I would do the exact same thing. wait for your confirmation from your 5-minute to the 1-minute entry. Okay, it's very simple. We start on the 5-minute, we wait for confirmation on the 5, we get in on the 1. We have another strong selling band sitting above it from the 29,603 to the 29,637. Again, these are going to be areas in the NQ that are going to be extremely, extremely difficult for these buyers to get through. This is where the sellers have really stepped in, and more than likely we are going to see a pretty strong movement out of these bands. So that in total, guys, is 4 different trade setups here on the NQ that we've got here today. So we definitely have some opportunities. Again, your first trade opportunity here is going to be with the longs. Okay, they're going to be retesting this area of supply here from buyers. You have to wait for the candle closure here. Okay, this is not a limit order spot. The bears have just been way too strong, so we definitely need to see some confirmation there. Your second setup, as we discussed, is this volume sweep sitting right here to 29,376. Ideally, in the perfect world, it takes out both of these levels, the current open and the volume that's sitting right there. You know, as I already mentioned to you guys, the perfect setup here, perfect setup here would be your 5-minute candle to wick through both of these and close below this volume sweep line. After that, a 1-minute candle closing below that 5-minute candle, that's your short. Stop loss, take profit. And as I discussed, this is your main volume sweep area for today. This has to be on your charts, the 29,539. In fact, if you want to get super granular, you can go down to the 29,538.50. And same type of scenario here. 5-minute candle closing below that 29,539, confirming that the sellers are re-engaging in this band. Dropping down to the 1-minute time frame. Candle closure below that. There's your short. Stop loss. Take profit. Paul, good morning. J Loves, good morning. Trader 007, good morning. Steve, John, I'm sorry. Good morning. All right, now we'll take a look at let's take a look at the ES here. Miss K 911, good morning. All right, we'll start off with our key levels here. We've got the current open at the 76.93. We've got prior day high sitting at the 77.14. Extremely important. We'll get into this one here on the ES. Prior day open at the 76.69. Prior day low is at the 76.61. All key levels there on the ES. All right, we've got buyers sitting down here on the ES at the 76.50 to the 76.31. Again, it's going to be hard for sellers to get through this band, but sellers have definitely throughout pretty much Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of last week have shown a lot of strength to the downside. They finally were met with some buying pressure, or I should say some buying support on Friday. As I mentioned in my video from yesterday, we were able to close Friday slightly in the green, just barely. But the sellers have definitely taken control last week. So especially on these buying bands, this is where you definitely want to see confirmation of a band. Now, how are we going to trade this ES band? It's a little bit different than the NQ. Same concept, just different time frame. Instead of the 5-minute candle, how we had on the NQ, on the ES, you're going to drop to a 15-minute time frame. Okay, I want to see the candle close above the 76.50 on the 15-minute time frame. Once we have that first piece of clue, that's our first clue here on the ES that the buyers are re-engaging, we're then going to drop down to the 5-minute time frame. Once you get a candle closure sitting above the high of this 15-minute candle, your stop loss is going to sit right here. Your take profit is going to be either, well, I would on the ES, I would be on a 1-to-1 risk to reward here, especially if you're prop or funded. If you're on a live cash account like me, you could definitely be going for, you could be looking for 1 to 1.5. That's your first setup here that we've got here on the ES. Now, here's a beauty. Remember, this is a weekly band here, guys. Okay, you can see by the width of this band, much bigger band. In fact, maybe going forward, I'll color it just a little bit different. But this is definitely your weekly band. In fact, I could do this what I did with the NQ. This is... long weekly band, 76.50 to the 76.31. Now, if those 15-minute candles, okay, if they keep going like this, is there a trade set up there to the long? No. If it goes something like this, is that a setup there yet? No. The body has to close above this 76.50. What we're looking for is we're looking for buyers re-engaging into this market, trapped sellers, absorption by buyers. Okay. I use volume, so I've got different ways of trading this, but the candlestick chart is going to be extremely easy for you. If you've got volume bubbles, or if you've got your footprints that are showing you clear signs of absorption there by buyers, even better. Now let's talk about this guy right here. This is another beautiful setup here on the ES. Why? Well, we're working here now with sellers, right? And as we've just discussed, sellers have been super strong. They have definitely been in control as of last week. Now we've got a few good pieces of confluences up here. We've got the prior day high at the 77.14. Okay, this selling band is sitting from the 77.20 to the 77.13. This one's going to be super easy. Here, you're going to be on the 5-minute time frame. This is daily. This is a daily band. As you guys can see, it's much smaller. This is a daily band right here, sitting here. Again, same thing. You want to look for a candle wicking into this band and your body closing underneath it. From that point, you're going to drop to the 1-minute chart. You're going to wait for a candle closure sitting below the low of this 5-minute. Your stop loss is going to sit right here. Your take profit is going to sit right there. Very simple setup here on the ES. this morning at the 77.13 3/4. Realistically, it's going to have to sweep this prior day high, so the 77.14, we'll just call it that. It's a nice round number, much easier to say. Let me know in the comments if you guys are understanding the concept here, and if anybody's got any questions. I mean, I've got some questions that I would be asking if I was the chat, but we'll see who's with me here or not. In gold, again, super strong bullish run here by the bulls here in gold. First piece of selling pressure is going to be at the 4,800s. Gave you guys this this band and level here yesterday on my Sunday video. If you guys can pop in the chat, let me know what you guys thought of the video. It was a very big change for me. I think I kind of screwed up on the I think I gave a, yes it is J-Lo's. I think I screwed up kind of on my band. I mean, I'm sorry, on my thumbnail. On the first one, it just kind of looked like, I don't know, I felt it looked like shit, but so I ended up changing that, which is never good for the algorithm. But show you guys a little bit of it. You're not gonna have audio here because I've got my desktop audio off. But there's a report. Had a nice little intro into there, but I'll show you kind of the concept there. It's me floating around. It took me almost 2-3 weeks to get this all done, but it's definitely a more interactive video. So, you know, it's going over where the key pieces of volume is at. We go over kind of the weekly review there. We're going over all of the bands, all the support and resistance bands. What else do we got here? Week on the tape. And then I go into the actual strategies, which I'll kind of, let's see if we can do that. I don't know why we have this, I can take that CC thing off. There we go. So I kind of show you guys the exact setup that we just, well, it's a setup below it on the ES, but we're going to go through the NQ setup here. And I explained to you guys exactly, you know, exactly what to look for, what time frame to kind of jump down on. And so I explained the setup. 15-minute candle, body closing above. This is the ES weekly band, 75.44. Can't wait for market to get down there. So I give you guys the whole setup, you know, where you draw to your line at, then to drop down to the lower time frame. So I don't know. It was definitely a different style for me. So any feedback on that would be awesome. All right, in gold. As I mentioned, the 4,800s is where you're going to see, sorry, the 48 to the 44.73 is definitely going to be where you're going to see some sellers kind of step in. My only issue right now in gold is that we are so bullish. We're so bullish right now that, you know, in gold, you definitely want to see some confirmation here for damn sure. And this would be on the 15-minute time frame. You know, same type of setup here. 15-minute candle closing below, 5-minute candle closing below. But personally, I just don't like the shorts up here at all. I would definitely be much more interested in the buying band down here at the 46.04 to the 45.84. in my opinion, I think much stronger area. Thanks, Paul. I appreciate that. Thanks, J Loves. Morning, William. Obviously, this week we got a pretty busy week with news. Just a whole bunch of things. The big one's going to be the Jackson Hole Symposium that starts on Thursday. You've got the Fed chair that's going to be speaking at 9 a.m., 10 a.m. Eastern. So that's going to be one that we should definitely see some fireworks with. Definitely want to be careful trading around that time. There's going to be a lot of volatility sitting there. Tomorrow we've got consumer confidence. Wednesday we've got a pretty full lineup. We got PCE, U.S. durable goods, consumer spending, and GDP numbers. Okay, so Wednesday is going to be a pretty busy day. Thursday we've got initial jobless claims, and again that Jackson Hole Symposium starts on Thursday. So a good piece of news coming up here this week. So we should see hopefully a pretty healthy market. And Wednesday we've got NVIDIA earnings, so that's another thing to keep on your radar. All right, guys, those are the setups, and I am working on one last. I mean, there's been a lot of updates. Obviously, it all started with kind of like the stream format that you guys see. The stream format obviously changed. I have changed this layout on what you guys see on YouTube several times. I have finally locked in what I consider to be a very clean layout. I'm not hitting you guys with advertisements for prop firms. You know, if I step away like this, it's there. But the main bulk of what you guys view is hopefully relevant information. I have worked a very long time to get these high impact news events on the left hand side of my screen to be exactly what I want, and I have finally achieved that. So it's clean, it's easily readable, maybe not necessarily the small text underneath it, but if you're on a mobile phone, it might be hard. But what I really wanted is I wanted any of the high impact events to be clear and right up on my screen. They do update now so that, you know, once we have no high impact event here today, but tomorrow, you know, when we get certain events that come in, they'll be updated there. And then I've got some market kind of watch alerts, you know, for pre-market, and those again will change at the New York Open. So the ticker at the bottom now is in real time, so I have real-time data feed going into those tickers, even though that the ES percentage, daily percentage change, I don't know why it's not pulling in today, but could be something in the data feed there, but the actual ticker is running. So it all started with this layout, guys. This is where it kind of, you know, started from. Then the next big change for me was to work on that weekly, a new weekly report, more of a kind of a new style. The week in review, what's coming up next week. Want to give you some hand-picked setups that you guys can actually trade. I think we watch so much garbage that, you know, they tell you what to look for, but not necessarily, you know, exactly what the type of trade that it is that we're actually looking for. Made some big adjustments to the Discord. And the big one was also, and I'm going to give you guys just kind of a little teaser. You know, I've redesigned the website, which is robstrades.com. If you haven't signed up for the weekly market report, that completely changed this week. So if you guys get the weekly report, hopefully you guys like the new format on there. It's just so much more information. It's everything that you're going to need, minus somebody actually taking the trades for you, which I will not do. But it's everything packed into this weekly market report, so that you can find on robstrades.com. It's completely free. Just click it right here, put your name and your email in. And the ultimate goal of this website is going to be a page that will have the daily setups that I talk about in my live stream in the morning, so that if you, as a reference point throughout the day, you can always go on to the site and it will show you all of those setups and what we've kind of talked about in the morning report. So it's an ambitious goal for me on this part, but I already have all of the tools that I need to get this done. So that's kind of the next evolution there. And again, it's just resources. All of this is free. There's no paywalls anywhere here. Obviously, if you want to join my room, it's a different story. If you want to continue trading with me live every morning till 11, you can do that. But everything is free throughout Discord and my website, and obviously the morning show. So with that, I'll leave you guys. Stay patient here today. I really hope you guys have a fantastic trading day. Let's see if I can get some profits here with my signal group, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Thanks, Paul, for the kind words. I really appreciate it.